It's a quiet summer night. The wind is gentle, stars stretch across the sky, and you're sitting alone, by the soft glow of a candle. Fingers gently wrapped around a warm teacup. The room is still, like a lake unshaken by wind. Each breath in and out, like ripples gliding across your chest. No one is urging you to be someone else. There's no voice in your head trying to fix or correct you. Just you, as you are, here and now. Have you ever felt tired from trying to change someone? A parent, a partner, a child, or maybe even yourself? Have you ever thought, if only they could change just a little, everything would be easier? We love, and then we fix. We care, and so we adjust. We worry, and try to control. But often, behind the urge to fix others, lies an unhealed wound within ourselves. A whisper of fear, an inner child left unseen, who once felt not enough, now craving safety through control. Somewhere, a meditation bell rings softly, like a breath across the soul, and it carries a question. If you didn't need to fix anyone, what would your heart feel like? You can try exhaling now, slow and long. Gently place your hand over your chest, and ask quietly, what am I still holding that no longer serves me? Tonight, we don't need logic, no arguments, just two people, you and me, sitting together like small lanterns in the dark. Let me tell you something. Emotional freedom doesn't come from fixing others. It comes from releasing the need to fix. And that path, you're not walking it alone. It carries the footprints of the Buddha, of ancient teachers, of today's gentle therapists and soul guides. Tonight's story is not a sprint. It's a soft walk, step by step, into something lighter. You still with me? Close your eyes, just for a moment. Feel your heart as if it were a lake. At first, there may be ripples, but then, like leaves falling on water, every word, every breath, will help it still. When you're ready, I'll take you further, into the heart of this story. Why do we keep trying to fix others? And how do we stop getting stuck in that, without losing love? Before we move on, if tonight's whispers have touched a quiet part of you, maybe softened something tight inside, consider holding this space with us. Follow this podcast, like saving the glow of a candle for future nights. Share this episode with someone you love, not to fix them, but to let them know you've stopped reaching to change and started leaning into love. And if you feel even a breath lighter, write it somewhere, just for you. I'm learning to love without needing to fix. Once, a Zen master told his student, don't try to turn a lotus into a rose. Just learn to sit beside it, and inhale its scent the way it chooses to bloom. At first, it sounds light, even poetic, but it shakes something deep inside, because nearly all of us, at some point, have tried to turn someone into something else. Maybe it's a strict father we wish would hug us once, a complaining mother we long to soften, a distant partner we hope might care a little more, and sometimes it's ourselves in the mirror. Never quite enough. Psychology calls this the need for control, a survival instinct of the mind facing uncertainty. Buddhism calls it attachment, clinging to expectations, idealized images, conditional safety. Wanting good things isn't wrong, but when love is tangled with expectation, when care turns into correction, when fear drives our kindness, the heart begins to shrink, like a flower forced to bloom out of season. Sariputta once said, no one can awaken another. We can only walk beside them, with compassion and wisdom. But we forget, we believe if we try hard enough, love enough, wait long enough, they will change. And when they don't, we feel defeated, angry, exhausted. Why? Because we're loving a version of them in our mind, not the person truly standing before us. That's where suffering begins, when we refuse to accept people as they are, when our peace depends on their behavior, when we hand them the keys to wounds we haven't yet healed in ourselves. Pause for a moment. Think of someone you've tried to fix. Write their name down, if you'd like. Then gently ask yourself, who am I wanting them to become? Who inside me needs that? My adult self? Or my wounded inner child? If they never change, could I still love them? This isn't the end of love. It's the expansion of it. Love that's freed from shape and condition. A space where they can be who they are, and so can we. Like Avalokitesvara, the bodhisattva who listens with 1,000 ears, not to fix, but to understand. not forcing the hurt to be strong. Just sitting there, quiet, present, full of compassion. Just like a skilled therapist doesn't rush to fix the symptom, but gently traces it back to its roots. They don't mold another's heart into their image. They hold space until that heart sees itself and heals from within. You can do this too. With others, with yourself. Try this tonight before bed. Place your hand on your chest. Close your eyes, and softly whisper, "I allow them to be who they are, and I allow myself to be at peace, even if they never change." It might feel hard at first. We're used to loving with conditions. But if you travel deep enough into your own heart, you'll discover unconditional love is already there, just hidden beneath the dust of long-held expectations. Imagine holding a handful of sand. At first, it rests gently in your palm. But the more you clench your fist, trying not to lose it, the more it slips through your fingers. That's what it's like to hold on too tightly to who we want someone to be. Love begins as presence, but slowly, fear can creep in. What if they leave? What if they don't grow? What if I give all of me and it still isn't enough? So we start to grasp. We push. We offer help they didn't ask for. We micromanage their moods. We say things like, "I just want what's best for you," but underneath is a trembling voice saying, "I need you to be okay so I can feel safe." Letting go doesn't mean not loving. It means loving without clinging. Ajahn Chah once said, "If you let go a little, you'll have a little peace. Let go a lot, and you'll have a lot of peace. Let go completely, and you'll know freedom." In therapy, there's a term called enmeshment, when we become so emotionally tangled with someone else that their struggles become our own. It often stems from childhood roles where love was earned by fixing, saving, or being overly responsible. But true love doesn't require us to lose ourselves. It invites us to step back, soften our grip, and trust. Trust in their path, even if it's messy. Trust in our own resilience. Even if we're afraid, there's a kind of dignity in saying, "I love you enough to not fix you. I respect you enough to let you find your own way. I trust that my presence, not my pressure, is the gift." Pause for a moment. Think of someone you've been trying to hold together. Breathe. Now gently say to yourself, "I release the need to hold it all." Picture them walking their own path. Maybe not the one you would choose. Maybe not even safe or wise. But it is theirs. And your love? It walks beside, not in front. Letting go is not abandonment. It's the deepest form of faith. That even if they fall, life will catch them in ways you cannot. And you get to rest. You get to stop being the fixer, the rescuer, the one who carries it all. Tonight, try this. Sit in silence for 3 minutes. Don't fix anything. Don't solve. Just breathe, and whisper, "It's okay to let go." Imagine holding a handful of sand. At first, it sits gently in your palm. But the tighter you squeeze, trying to keep it, the more it slips through your fingers. That's how we sometimes lose the ones we love, by holding on too tightly, trying to shape them into who we want them to be. Love begins with presence, but soon, fear can creep in. What if they leave? What if they don't grow? What if I give everything and it's still not enough? So we start holding tighter. We push. We help even when they don't ask. We try to manage their feelings. We say, "I just want what's best for you," but underneath, a trembling voice says, "I need you to be okay so I can feel safe." Letting go doesn't mean we stop loving. It means we love without clinging. Ajahn Chah once said, "Let go a little, and you'll have a little peace. Let go a lot, and you'll have a lot of peace. Let go completely, and you'll know freedom." In therapy, there's a term called enmeshment, when we get so emotionally entangled that someone else's pain becomes our own. Often rooted in childhood, where love was earned by pleasing, saving, or carrying too much. But true love doesn't ask us to lose ourselves. It invites us to step back, loosen our grip, and trust. Trust their journey, even if it's messy. Trust our strength, even if we're scared. There's a quiet power in these words. I love you enough not to fix you. I respect you enough to let you find your way. I believe my presence, not my pressure, is the gift. Pause. Think of someone you've been trying to hold on to. Take a breath in and out. Then gently whisper to yourself, "I no longer need to hold it all. Picture them walking their own path. Maybe not the one you would choose. Maybe not even a safe one. But it is theirs. And your love? It walks beside, not ahead. Letting go is not abandonment. It's a deeper kind of faith. That if they fall, life will catch them, in ways you cannot. And you get to rest. You don't have to be the fixer, the savior, the one who carries everything. Tonight, try this. Sit quietly for 3 minutes. Don't fix, don't solve, just breathe, and whisper. Letting go is also a way of loving. Have you ever sat next to someone in silence, said nothing at all, and still felt your heart soften? Not because they gave advice, not because they were wise or strong, but simply because they were fully present, not trying to fix, not trying to rescue. Presence like that can speak deeper than 1,000 words. In Buddhism, there is a practice called compassionate patience, a form of loving kindness that waits without interference. Simply offering space with an open heart. Often, what someone needs most isn't a solution, but a quiet place to sit beside their pain. Someone who doesn't flinch when things get messy. Who doesn't rush to cheer them up. Who doesn't say, "Don't be sad," just sits there, like a shore untouched by wind. Understanding doesn't need many words. It needs space. And you can be that space for others. And for yourself. There is a part of you, very quiet, very deep, that longs to be heard. Not judged, not corrected, just held, with the soft gaze of compassion. Tara Brach calls it radical acceptance, welcoming everything, without trying to change or push it away. Because only when we are accepted as we are, can healing truly begin. And then, that same acceptance begins to ripple outward, naturally, like breath, gently, like late afternoon light spilling through a window. You don't have to fully understand someone to love them. You just need to be present enough, quiet enough, for them to feel safe being themselves. Tonight, try this. Sit down, turn off the noise, breathe in, breathe out, and softly whisper, "I'm here to listen, not to fix, just to understand." Have you ever sat beside someone in complete silence, and still felt your heart soften? Not because they gave advice, not because they had all the answers, but because they were fully present, not in a hurry to fix, not trying to make anything better. That kind of presence can go deeper than 1,000 words. In Buddhism, there is a practice called compassionate patience. It's a kind of kindness that does not rush to intervene, but simply stays. With an open heart. So often, what someone needs most isn't direction. It's a quiet seat next to their pain. A person who doesn't run when things get messy. Who doesn't rush to soothe. Who doesn't say, "Don't be sad." They just sit, like a silent shore beneath a storm. Understanding doesn't need many words. It needs space. And you can be that space. For others, and for yourself. There is a part of you, very quiet, very deep, that longs to be heard. Not judged, not corrected, just held, in the gaze of compassion. Tara Brach calls it radical acceptance, welcoming what is, without pushing anything away, because only when we are received just as we are, can we begin to heal. And slowly, that same acceptance begins to ripple outward, softly, like breath, like late sunlight spilling through a window. You don't need to fully understand someone to love them. You only need to be present enough, quiet enough, for them to feel safe being who they are. Tonight, try this. Sit down, turn off all distractions, inhale and exhale, and whisper, "I'm listening, not to fix, just to understand." There are moments when all we need is someone to sit beside us, quietly, patiently, and somehow, the weight in our heart begins to soften. Not because they offer advice, not because they're stronger or wiser, but because they are simply present, fully, without trying to fix, without needing to do anything else but be. That kind of presence can reach places deeper than words ever could. In Buddhism, there's a practice called compassionate patience, a form of loving kindness that doesn't rush to fix, but gently stays, with an open heart. So often, what people need most isn't an answer. It's a calm place to rest beside their pain. Someone who doesn't turn away when things feel messy. Who doesn't rush to comfort. Who doesn't say, "Don't be sad." Just someone who sits there, like a quiet sky holding the storm. Understanding doesn't require explanation, it requires space. And you can be that space. For others, and for yourself. There's a part of you, still, deep, waiting to be heard. Not measured, not corrected, just gently touched, by a gaze that doesn't judge. Tara Brach calls this radical acceptance, welcoming everything as it is. Without pushing anything away, because only when we're received exactly as we are, can healing begin. And from that acceptance, love begins to ripple outward, softly, like breath, like golden afternoon light slipping through a window. You don't need to understand someone completely to love them. Just be quiet enough, real enough, so they feel safe being themselves. Tonight, try this. Sit down, turn off every sound, breathe in, slowly, breathe out, deeply, and whisper, "I'm listening, not to fix, just to understand." There's something strange. Sometimes the more we try to fix others, the more it points to a part of us that's never truly been heard. A little child inside, once neglected, who tried to be good to be seen, who believed, if I'm quiet enough, obedient enough, good enough, maybe they won't leave. That child has grown up, but the wound still holds its shape. And sometimes, it tries to use love to earn belonging. It uses helping to ask, "Can I stay?" It uses control, as a shield against the helplessness of long ago. Can you hear that voice inside yourself? The Buddha taught that all actions arise from conditions. There's no shame in having tried, in having loved the only way we knew. But now, if we pause with enough mindfulness and turn inward, we may begin to see what we're trying to fix in others might just be what's still unhealed within. A teacher once said, "Before you try to teach someone else, go home and comfort the child inside you first." Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means walking alongside our memories with new light, like lighting a small lamp in an old room, not to erase, but to see clearly. Tonight, try this. Close your eyes, place your hand on your chest, and imagine the child within you, 5 years old, maybe 7, looking back at you. Ask them this one thing. What do you need that was never put into words? And then, listen. Don't analyze, don't fix, just listen. Because when that child is seen, heard, and loved, you'll no longer need to fix others. You'll just need to be present with someone who has finally come home to themselves. There's something deeply telling. Sometimes the more we try to fix others, the more it reveals a part of us that has never truly been heard. A little child, once overlooked. A child who tried so hard to be good just to be seen. Who believed, if I'm quiet enough, obedient enough, good enough, I won't be left behind. That child has grown up, but the shape of the wound still remains. And sometimes, it uses love as a way to seek belonging. It helps others in hopes of asking, "Can I stay?" It turns to control, as a shield against the helplessness of long ago. Do you hear that voice inside you? The Buddha taught that all actions arise from conditions. There's no shame in having tried, in having loved the only way we knew. But now, if we can pause, mindfully, and turn inward, we might see what we're trying to fix in others is often the very place still bleeding inside us. A teacher once said, "Before you try to teach anyone anything, go home and soothe the child within you first." Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means walking alongside the memory with new light, like lighting a small lamp in an old room, not to erase it, but to see it more clearly. Tonight, try this. Close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, and imagine the child within you, maybe 5 years old, maybe 7, looking back at you. Ask them softly, "What do you need that you've never spoken aloud?" And then, just listen. Don't explain, don't fix, just listen. Because when that child is seen, heard, and held with love, you no longer need to fix others. You simply learn to be present, as someone who has finally come home to themselves. There's something deeply revealing. Sometimes the harder we try to fix others, the more it points to a place inside us that has never truly been heard. A small child, once forgotten. A child who tried so hard to be good, just to be seen. A child who believed, if I stay quiet enough, obedient enough, good enough, I won't be abandoned. That child grew up, but the wound still holds its shape. And sometimes, it reaches for love as a way to feel like it belongs. It helps others, quietly asking, "Is it okay if I stay?" It turns to control, as a shield against the helplessness of the past. Can you hear that voice inside yourself? The Buddha taught that all actions arise from conditions. There's no shame in how we once tried, how we once loved, but now, if we pause long enough to turn inward with mindfulness, we might realize, what we're trying to fix in others is often the very place still bleeding inside ourselves. A teacher once said, "Before you try to teach others anything, go home and comfort the child inside you first." Healing doesn't mean erasing the past. It means walking beside the memory with a new light, like lighting a small lamp in an old room, not to destroy it, but to see it more clearly. Tonight, you might try this. Close your eyes, place your hand on your chest, and imagine the child inside you, maybe 5 years old, maybe 7, looking into your eyes. Ask that child, gently, what do you need that you've never said out loud? And then, just listen. Don't explain, don't fix, just listen. Because when that child is seen, heard, and held in love, you won't need to fix anyone anymore. You'll simply be present, as someone who has finally come home to themselves. Sometimes we think that love means always saying yes, always showing up, always carrying every request. But over time, we feel exhausted, hollow, like a stream that's been drained dry. Love doesn't mean dissolving. Compassion doesn't mean abandoning ourselves. Boundaries are not walls. They are the space that allows both of us to breathe. They are where we pause and realize, I don't have to carry this for you. They are the place where we say, I care about you, and I also need to take care of me. The Buddha taught, you cannot save others if you are drowning yourself. Boundaries are the raft that keeps us from being swept away by another's storm. They are the breath that reminds us, we have the right to say, no, not out of selfishness, but out of wisdom and care. Boundaries are compassion with clarity, love with awareness, stepping back not to abandon, but to sustain our presence in the long run. Try this simple reflection. Write down a situation where you felt overwhelmed or drawn too far in. Then ask yourself, where in this did I forget myself? What do I need to say out loud to keep peace within? Then practice voicing a gentle, clear boundary, without blame. I need some time to rest. I hear you. But I can't make this decision for you. I'm here with you. But I won't carry your feelings for you. To love someone doesn't mean being there all the time. It means knowing when to stay, when to step back, so both can grow, without anyone being worn down. Sometimes, we believe that loving someone means always saying yes, always being there, always carrying everything they ask for. But eventually, we find ourselves exhausted, hollow, like a spring that has run dry. Love doesn't mean dissolving into someone else. Compassion doesn't mean forgetting ourselves. Boundaries are not walls. They are the space that allows both people to remain whole. They are where we pause and remind ourselves, I don't have to carry this for them. They are the moment we say, I care deeply for you, but I also need to care for me. The Buddha once said, you cannot save others if you are drowning yourself. Boundaries are the raft that keeps us from being swept away by another's emotions. They are the breath that reminds us, we have the right to say, no, not from selfishness, but from wisdom and self-respect. Boundaries are compassion with wisdom, love with mindfulness, a gentle step back, not to leave, but to remain present for the long run. Try this. Write down a recent situation where you felt pulled too far. Then ask yourself, where in this did I lose touch with myself? What needs to be spoken for me to feel at peace? Then, practice voicing a boundary, gently, clearly, without blame. I need time to rest. I hear you. But I can't decide this for you. I'm here with you. But I won't carry your emotions for you. To love someone doesn't mean always staying close. It means knowing when to stand beside, and when to step back, so both of you can grow, without anyone being worn down. When you no longer need to fix anyone, who do you return to? Gently, you return to yourself. Not the one who carries, rescues, or always holds it together, but the simple human, learning how to live more lightly, more honestly. Sometimes we don't see it, but in trying to fix someone else, We're also running from emptiness, from helplessness, from the question, if I'm not doing anything, do I still matter? Letting go is the pause, the turning inward, the slow walk back to your center, where no one needs you to be anything but you. Ajahn Brahm once said, don't try to let go. Let go of trying. Letting go is not passivity. It's the deepest action, the release of gripping, of expectation, of roles that no longer fit. It's sitting still, among all that's imperfect, and still knowing, I am enough. It's recognizing that others have their own path, and so do you. It's stepping out of the story that your worth is measured by what you fix. Try this. Inhale and exhale slowly. One hand on your chest, one on your belly, then softly whisper, I allow myself to do nothing. Just to be here and be enough. Write down 3 things you've been trying to control. Now look at them with compassion. And ask, if I let this go, what part of me might feel lighter? Because when you stop trying to fix others, you begin to meet yourself again, not the striving version, but the soft, alive, whole version. Now you've walked a long path with me, step by step. Breath by breath, you've sat beside your longing to fix. You've touched the places within you that still ache to be heard. You've learned to soften, to stay, to love without clinging. And now, you're invited to rest. Not because the journey is over, but because you've remembered. Healing is not a destination. It's a way of being. Imagine this. The early morning light streaming through your window. The weight on your shoulders, gently dissolving like mist. There is no one you need to save. Nothing you must fix. No role you have to play. Just you, breathing. Just you, present. Just you, being love. Not doing love. In the stillness of now, the deepest kind of wisdom begins to bloom, not loud, not urgent, but like the gentle opening of a flower that has always known how to unfurl. Remember this. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to protect your peace. You are allowed to choose rest over rescuing. You are allowed to love, and still say no. In the words of Vasubandhu, true wisdom is not about what we change outside, but about how tenderly we return to what's already here. So let this be your final breath with me tonight. Close your eyes, let your shoulders drop, feel the ground beneath you, and whisper softly, I have done enough, I am enough, I can rest now. If this podcast has touched something inside you, please consider sharing it with someone who needs this kind of softness. Follow our channel, so you'll have these gentle moments waiting for you, on the days you forget how to be kind to yourself. And until next time, may you walk gently with your heart. May you love without fixing. May you simply be.